to that young man for saying that. I wrote it, I had to read it, and it sounds so pompous, it's unbearable. But I don't really belong here. I just, last month went to Harvard. I didn't belong there either. My friend Tom McGuane says there are two kinds of writers. The Episcopal kind who have an office, and the kind who write at the kitchen table. I'm the kind who writes at his kitchen table, staring at his dogs and his yard, and I've never had the office. I was an English major, but I never got the Anglophilia that was really necessary to push on into the deepest study for a PhD. And so I really, as many times as I've been in this lovely cathedral, working a slightly alien territory, only because it's better than I am, but it was a lot better than Henry VIII too. And I noticed something about the kids. It's for the kids. I promise you, going to not rush this, but this is very much for the parents, the grandparents, and the students, and those who sweat bullets at night waiting for them to come in most of your car, and the old practice action where I always flew the biggest piece back. But I am also, like many men in this audience, I'm still 18 in my heart. And I'm also a parent. I have 3 children. My heart has been in my throat ever since they got the car keys. And I know, so I'm familiar with both crowds. I don't think there's a lot more growing up you do after 18 in many ways that I will indicate later. I'd like you to indulge just this common, this bit of family business. Memorial Day reminded me yesterday of my uncle, Bootsy, a family legend, and his picture, which you can't see, but which I just got, his graduation picture from Leland High School, Mississippi. He was 18 years old. Bootsy went on to fly against Rommel in 1942 and lost his life. And he's been the family legend. Much like the people I was watching tonight. A big, handsome boy, laughed a great deal, easy, his feelings were easy, came easy. Greatly confident, without arrogance. He laughed even about the war. He was a married person, married a gorgeous woman before he went off to war, and down in Mississippi Southern, he was a football star without having even played football in high school. So he's a family icon. He reminds me so much of the kids I saw talking to each other tonight with great feeling. When I went to school and on to college, bitterness and irony was in, and it was really not very hip to let your feelings show for each other. It was very unhip. The beatniks had come along, we would immediately mimic them with their disgust and futility of the world. That's a good attitude to have when you tried nothing. I like the kids' feelings. The St. Andrew students I've taught at Ole Miss have been not only bright, they've had that nice, adventurous, open spirit. It's nice to talk to kids like that. They remind me of the students at Montana. I've taught at more prestigious colleges, but Montana and Mississippi young people remind me of each other because they're adventurous, they're too curious. Our best Mississippians, they're too curious to hate, to be biased, and they're busy in their minds with working on good things. There's so much I don't have to say that some commencement speakers don't remember, that their teachers have already gotten through to them. I don't have to tell them that you don't want to die with your name and then consumer written under it. That'd be kind of a horror. There is a way, I mean, the old lessons are true, that you go to escape things, and one I think that you can escape through the hard work of your parents. There's such a consciousness of just getting by and survival. And even some of the public schools as I went to, even your life on the line, which I don't know how to deal with as a parent nowadays. Reality gives us a bad break, as it did this man I'm going to talk about. His name is Charles Bukowski. Bukowski has brought poetry to the public. He is a vulgar man. He's alcoholic. He was stricken with hideous boils when he was an adolescent, which left him with a lifetime of outsider peering through the glass at the pretty ones inside and well-dressed ones dancing. But I've been, even in my prose, I've always wanted to write poetry. Poetry just means saying a lot in a short space and absolute clarity. And I think poets have forgotten, as Walt Whitman remembered, I'd like to have Whitman or somebody back because he seems to be the closest one we can find to it. Like most good poets, he is not always vulgar. He has a very earnest and absolutely honest side to it. I like Bukowski because it reminds us that so often the big dreams are just simply facile. Peace, the Garden of Eden, universal accord, the end of hate, the renaissance of the heroes, men and women, all faiths, all creeds. These things are easy to believe in. As it's a kind of 5-beer feeling, as I saw a Venice, California girl with a tattoo on her rear end. She's told me, I can be anything I want to be. Well, I doubt it. I just had my doubts at that time. I was failing, at the time, failing terribly being a screenwriter. God released me back to life from Hollywood. I'm back here, I'm very glad. But I've had that same kind of dream. I was given Demerol for a migraine once, and it's the feeling that you shouldn't drive. Of course, all the masterpieces are mine. The world is at my fingertips, trying to get into my palm. The feeling, and also the absolute bliss of procrastination. So that the big dreams really are easy. I like the small dream, the small beautiful work, and that's what I'm talking about by way of Mr. Charles Bukowski. I do believe that you can become, live life with some education as a human bumper sticker. For instance, when I passed on the way back from Florida, they think peace. All right, done. Right on. Well, the big dreams are disabling and cheap. I like teaching more now at Ole Miss than I ever have before. I used to didn't believe in the process that much. I believe in it more and more simply as time has gone by, and many of my students have accounted for themselves really well in publishing and life. I think it's because I'm starting to release and be honest and give the kids everything I can. I think when you're younger, there's a kind of selfish hold on imparting certain things to the young. You think they're not worth it. But there is sometimes a dishonesty in teaching. I only lately have been able to give them every best last thing I know, which a teacher should do every day. And I love it because I'm simply more at peace with myself. In dire, polar opposition to everything you'd want from your work